You know that feeling, right? When you're trying to, I don't know, open a can, but you can't find the opener.
Uh-huh. Or hammering a nail with a wrench.
Exactly. It's that same kind of frustration you sometimes get at work. Using the wrong approach, the wrong tool for the job.
Totally. And it feels like that happens more and more now, doesn't it? With everything changing so fast, tech, markets, you name it.
It really does. Which makes figuring out how to help our people grow, how to move them effectively within the organization, well, it's more critical than ever.
Yeah, the old idea of a static job, a predictable path.
Hmm.
It's kind of fading, isn't it? Work feels much more like a journey now.
A journey. I like that. So the big question is, how do we actually support people on that journey, especially when the landscape keeps shifting under our feet?
Right. How do we do it intelligently and, in a human-friendly way?
Well, that's exactly what we're getting into today, especially for you, the learner. We're looking at a fresh way to think about employee development, about organizational change.
And we're drawing on this really interesting article by Vishal Kumar. He talks about something called mobility layers.
Mobility layers.
Okay.
Sounds like a framework for navigating all this complexity.
It is. Kumar argues we need to stop thinking about work as just a place you are and start seeing it as, well, that journey you mentioned, a dynamic movement.
So he simplifies it, like everyone's moving from a point A.
Exactly. Point A is where you are now, your role, your skills, the whole context.
And point B is where you want or need to go. A new skill, maybe a different role, a bigger challenge.
Precisely, that future state.
Yeah.
And Kumar basically asks, okay, if people need to get from A to B, and the ground between A and B is constantly changing,
Well, what's the smartest way to help them make that trip? And like you said, keep it human.
that's the core question. And it leads him to this fantastic analogy: travel.
Like different ways of traveling.
Yeah, think about it. Need to pop across town, maybe a moped or scooter is best.
Okay, quick, easy for one person.
Right. Moving a few people, a small team, you'd probably take a car.
Makes sense.
Got a larger group for, say, an onboarding session. A bus might be the way to go.
Right, more capacity.
And then shifting a whole department, maybe relocating for a big project. That sounds more like a train journey.
Okay, bigger scale, more coordination needed.
And finally, if you need really fast, large-scale change across the whole organization, that's like taking a plane.
Got it. Moped, car, bus, train, plane. Different vehicles for different journeys.
Exactly. The transport has to fit the scale and the need. And this is where Kumar brings in his mobility layers of work. 5 layers, each matching one of those modes of transport. It gives us a practical way to think about learning strategies, especially with AI involved.
Okay, let's break these down then. Layer 1, the moped. That's self-directed mobility.
Yeah. The moped is all about the individual. Someone taking the initiative, upskilling on their own, grabbing learning resources right when they need them. Just-in-time stuff.
Like the garage tinkerer Kumar mentions, or someone doing night classes.
Exactly that type. And AI can really supercharge this, giving personalized recommendations, adaptive microlearning, like a smart personal tutor available 24/7.
Sounds powerful for individual motivation.
Yeah.
But what's the catch? Is there a downside to everyone just zooming around on their own mopeds?
Well, yeah. There's the obvious risk of isolation, perhaps. But also, Kumar points out, you could end up in a bit of an echo chamber.
Only learning things that confirm what you already think.
Right. Or maybe missing the bigger strategic picture the organization needs you to grasp. You need some connection back to the team or the company's goals.
Okay, that makes sense. So moving up a level, we get the car, team enablement.
Yeah, the car is for smaller groups, building capability within a team, maybe adopting a new tool together, that kind of thing.
So AI here could help match people for projects, like pairing skills dynamically.
It could. Or you might have learning bots embedded right in the team's workflow, offering help as they actually work on stuff together.
Like the example in the article, a marketing team learning a new AI analytics tool as a group.
That's a perfect example. They're learning and applying it in their actual work context.
But what are the pitfalls here? If one team gets really good with the new tool in their car, what about other teams?
That's the main challenge. You can get uneven adoption, pockets of high proficiency here, lagging teams there. It can create silos and friction between groups.
Right. Okay, next step, the bus. Cohort learning. This sounds more traditional, maybe.
It often is. Think onboarding new hires, leadership programs, big reskilling waves. The bus is good for moving larger groups together on a similar path.
And AI's role on the bus, is it just driving or?
Huh. Well, it's more like being the smart conductor and route planner.
Hmm.
AI can help orchestrate the whole learning journey, track engagement, see who's getting it and who's struggling.
Okay.
It can even help the human facilitator, maybe giving them real-time prompts or insights.
The article mentions the one-size-fits-all risk with cohorts, though. How does AI help avoid just forcing everyone down the same fixed bus route?
That's a key point. A smart bus route. AI can analyze how people are doing and tweak the journey, offer extra resources here, suggest a different activity there, flag someone needing more support. It makes the route more responsive.
Adapting the route based on the passengers.
Okay.
Scaling up again.
Yeah.
The train. Departmental growth.
Now we're talking bigger transformations, shifting skills across a whole function, maybe because automation is changing jobs or the market's demanding something new.
So AI here is like laying the track.
In a way, yes. It's crucial for mapping out the existing skills, what have we actually gotten in this department, and then forecasting the gaps we need to fill for the future. It provides the blueprint for that large-scale movement.
But the article warns about over-standardization with the train. What does that mean practically?
It means you might design a development track that's too rigid. It works on paper for the department, but it doesn't account for the different roles people actually do within that department. Forcing everyone onto the same track when their individual needs or jobs are quite varied.
Right, the efficiency of the train needs to be balanced with some individual flexibility. Okay, last one. The plane. Widespread transformation. This is the big one.
This is the whole organization shift. Implementing AI across the board, maybe moving entirely to a new hybrid work model, it's system-wide change.
And AI's role at 30,000 feet.
It's operating at that system level, building learning models for the entire company, maybe even doing behavioral modeling to see how the changes are landing, where the stress points are.
The article uses that striking analogy here, airlifts versus air raids. What's the warning there?
It's about how the change is delivered. If these massive changes feel dropped from above, overwhelming, like an air raid, people will resist, get disengaged, burn out.
Whereas an airlift feels more like support, purposeful, well-communicated.
Exactly. It needs to connect back to people's reality, feel supportive, not just imposed. Otherwise, the plane journey becomes pretty turbulent.
This whole travel metaphor, moped, car, bus, train, plane, it really clarifies the different scales of development needed. But the article stresses AI isn't just in the vehicles, it's the intelligent navigator for the whole system.
That's the really game-changing part, I think. AI's potential to see the whole picture. It can observe individual journeys, see what challenges people are facing right now, and then suggest the right vehicle.
So it's not just tracking completions, it's actively recommending the best way to move forward.
Yes. It moves us away from guesswork, from just offering a training catalog and hoping people find the right thing.
Like that scenario described. AI sees engineers struggling with a new tool,
And suggests a car, a team learning session.
while also seeing one person needs a specific bit of info,
And offers a moped a quick micro-learning module.
and maybe identifies a larger group needing foundational skills.
And flags the need for a bus, a cohort program. It's proactive, personalized logistics for development.
Which brings us to this idea of adaptability as the new infrastructure. It's not enough to just have the different vehicles.
No, you need the connections between them. Adaptable organizations build what Kumar calls intermodal hubs, places where you can switch modes easily.
So you can jump from a moped exploration to joining a team car, or maybe get directed to a structured bus program if needed.
Precisely. It's about having that flexibility, that integrated system, the individual freedom of the moped, the team focus of the car, the structured efficiency of the bus, the scale of the train and plane, all connected.
And this system needs to be, what, data-informed, but not creepy or overwhelming?
Right. And human-centered, but not relying on just a few HR heroes to make it all happen.
Ecosystem-driven, using all available resources, but not descending into chaos.
You got it. It's about making growth a continuous flow, not just a series of separate, clunky events.
Which leads to that final, really interesting analogy Kumar uses, the shipping container.
Oh, yeah, that one's powerful. Standardizing the container, not just the ship or the truck, revolutionized global logistics, made everything flow.
So he asks, what's the equivalent container for human potential?
And his answer is mobility itself. The ability for people to move, learn, adapt, grow at the right speed, with the right support, no matter what disruptions come along.
It's about building the capacity for movement into the system.
Exactly. It's about building that adaptive capability.
So the question we always need to ask when we're trying to help someone grow or adapt is, are we handing them a moped
Right.
when they really need a plane.
Or maybe a bus or a train. Are we matching the support to the scale of the journey they need to take?
Because ultimately, as Kumar says, it's not just the strongest who survive change.
It's those who can move best when the map disappears. It's about having that internal mobility, that adaptability.
So wrapping this up for you, the learner, the big takeaway here is really shifting how we think, moving from static jobs to this idea of work as a continuous journey.
And this mobility layers, framework, moped, car, bus, train, plane, it gives you a really practical way to think about designing support for that journey,
Mhm.
making it adaptive, making it effective.
It's worth thinking about your own situation, isn't it? What mobility layers do you see in your organization, or even in your own career?
Yeah, are the vehicles on offer actually right for the terrain you're navigating? Are you maybe stuck on a moped when you really need the capacity of a bus or the speed of a plane for where you need to get?
And that leaves us with a final thought for you. What kind of mobility infrastructure could you help build or advocate for? What could make it easier for you and others to navigate these changes?
Because understanding these layers, recognizing the need for different kinds of movement, well, that's probably the first step to making sure everyone arrives safely on their work journeys, wherever those journeys